Hello everyone, how are you? I wanted to talk a little bit about art block. More specifically, ways to fight our art block. We already know what it is, we already know that it really sucks, but sometimes we are just missing the solutions for it. One of the things you can do to stop it is to actually stop drawing for some time. Sometimes if you're having a lot of trouble to draw something, to have ideas to draw, it's because you might be a little bit burnt out with drawing and you need a little bit of rest to start fresh again. So that's an option. However, there are some active exercises that you can do to help you fight it. My first tip is to do some gesture drawing. So instead of thinking I'm going to start with a sketch, I'm going to have an idea, I'm going to develop that idea and I'll end up with a finished drawing, just sit down and do some gesture drawing. You can go to places like Line of Action, for example. It's one of my favorite figure drawing websites. You can choose the gender of the models, you can choose if they are nude or if they are covered, the age, how long each pose will be staying on the screen until it changes to another, and you just sit down and start drawing. Another option is Sketch Daily. It's another one of my favorites and I use it a lot. So just sit down, there's no expectations here, you are not looking to make amazing drawings, you just want to capture some poses and some movements there, and that's it. They don't need to be perfect, they don't need to be beautiful, they're just some studies and they're for you. You can also just take pictures of yourself and just make random poses. It doesn't matter how silly they are, they can be silly. I mean, do take the chance to have fun with this part as well, with coming up with different poses that you can draw, and take a bunch of photos. Then again, you sit down, you open your sketchbook and you start drawing those poses. Now, the second exercise that I really recommend, and I think this is really fun, is drawing from blobs of paint. So you open your sketchbook, and if you have some paint at home like watercolors, even some water markers or acrylic gouache, whatever, everything works. Open your sketchbook and just paint some random blobs of paint in it. Use different colors, I think that's fun, not using always the same colors, so you have a very colorful spread there, and let it dry for a bit. So when that page is dry, you pick up a pen and draw whatever you see in those blobs. Try to imagine, what do they remind you of? Is it a dog? Is it a plant? An insect? A person? Wherever. There are so many possibilities, and I think it's really fun because again, there are no expectations here. It's just letting your imagination run wild and draw whatever comes to your mind. These drawings don't need to be perfect. They can be very messy and very sketchy. The idea of them is not that they are beautiful, ready to post on social media. These are just for you. Just random studies, random sketches that you are doing for fun with no expectations. Let's go for our next one, which is some aimless doodling. So what I mean by this is that you don't need to have a plan to what you're going to draw here. You just sit down, you pick up a pen or a pencil and just start doodling stuff. It doesn't even need to be something very concrete, it can be just shapes. You start drawing squares, hearts, maybe a flower, maybe just some lines. You start drawing lines, creating a labyrinth, for example, just really random stuff. I kind of like doing this exercise a lot when I really don't have a lot of motivation to actually draw something, or I don't have ideas at the moment, but I still want to pick up my pencil for a little bit, so I just open my sketchbook and start doing random stuff. At the same time, it can be a bit boring. Maybe it's a bit boring for you, and if that happens, you can go to the next step, which is trying to draw characters based on shapes. So for example, let's pick up a square and we're going to draw a character based on squares, and that's it. We're just going to use squares. It's going to be very simple. It's still a doodle, it's still a sketch, it's not a finished piece. And you can choose different shapes, you can mix the shapes into just one character. And again, I think this is very relaxing and fun. We always have a lot of expectations about the quality of our artwork because we want to post it on social media and we want to have approval from our followers, right? And some days that just doesn't go well, and then our motivation starts to go lower, we don't have ideas, we don't want to draw, everything we draw seems like it's horrible, and we need to take a step back from that and just do things for ourselves. And now for my last recommendation, and I do use this one a lot, following some prompts or drawing challenges that are around. For this one, you kind of don't need to come up with an idea. For example, if you're following prompts, and I do have some videos on it, I have packs of prompts, 3 packs of prompts if you want to grab some on Gumroad, and this is just lists with words. You just need to draw something related to that word, so you don't need the idea itself. Let's say that the prompt is candle. That's it, you can draw just a candle. You don't need to do more than that. Of course, if you want, and your mind can start imagining more stuff. For example, what if that candle is a character actually? What if I made it a little bit human? Or what if I drew someone, a witch, let's say, holding a candle? Just let your imagination run wild with that. And I really love doing prompts and challenges in general. There are so many challenges around, you can just Google them. If you go on Instagram or Twitter, someone that you follow is probably doing a challenge. You have challenges like draw this in your style, in which the artist made some art and you need to replicate that art but in your own style. You have things like the outfit of the day. I think this one is both for photographs of your outfits, but it works as for drawings as well. Lots of people do it and I do it as well. Sometimes just pick one and have fun with it. And these exercises will help you. I hope you have fun with them. Feel free to tell me in the comments what do you usually do when you have some art block or you feel a bit demotivated with your art. And as always, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and remember, keep on drawing.